Today we are concerned with the Watson and Crick's model of DNA. In the last lecture, मागच्या लेक्चरमध्ये आपण हे शिकलो होतो की जेनेटिक मटेरियल नेमकं कोणतं आहे. ग्रिफिथचा एक्सपेरिमेंट बघितला आपण, ॲव्हरी मॅककार्टीचा एक्सपेरिमेंट बघितला, हर्षे आणि चेसचा एक्सपेरिमेंट बघितला आणि शेवटी हे कन्फर्म झालं की डीएनए इज अ जेनेटिक मटेरियल. तुम्ही 11th मध्ये बायोकेमिस्ट्री ऑफ सेल शिकलात आणि बायोकेमिस्ट्री ऑफ सेल मध्ये तुम्हाला वेगवेगळे केमिकल्स जे काही सेलमध्ये असतात त्याचा स्टडी झालेला आहे. त्यापैकीच एक म्हणजे न्यूक्लिक ऍसिड, आणि न्यूक्लिक ऍसिड दोन प्रकारचे असतात. एक तर डीऑक्सीरायबोज न्यूक्लिक ऍसिड, दुसरं असतं रायबोज न्यूक्लिक ऍसिड. त्यापैकी डीएनए डीऑक्सीरायबोज न्यूक्लिक ऍसिड हे जेनेटिक मटेरियल आहे मोस्ट ऑफ द ऑर्गॅनिझम मध्ये. पण काही ऑर्गॅनिझम मध्ये लाईक प्लांट व्हायरसेस फार कमी ऑर्गॅनिझम आहेत की ज्याच्यामध्ये आरएनए जेनेटिक मटेरियल असतं, ते म्हणजे प्लांट व्हायरसेस. बाकी सर्वच ऑर्गॅनिझम मध्ये ईच अँड एव्हरी यूकॅरियोटिक ऑर्गॅनिझम कन्सिस्ट अ डीएनए एज अ जेनेटिक मटेरियल. सो टुडे वी आर कन्सर्न्ड विथ द डीएनए अँड स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ डीएनए. डीएनए डीऑक्सीरायबोज न्यूक्लिक ऍसिड. Last year we have studied the components of the DNA. DNA consists various components. DNA consists the nitrogen bases. Nitrogen bases are of two types, that is purine and pyrimidine. While another one is that is pentose sugar. Pentose sugar which consists 5 carbon, that's why it is called as pentose sugar. Pentose sugar which is present in the DNA and RNA, it is different. In the DNA it is deoxyribose sugar, while in the RNA it is ribose sugar. One oxygen is less than the ribose sugar, that's why it is called as deoxyribose sugar. So next content present in the nucleic acid, it is phosphate group. So three contents are there: nitrogen base, pentose sugar and phosphate group. Nitrogen bases are of two types, that is purine and pyrimidine. A, G, T, C. These are the nitrogen bases present in the DNA. So we are concerned with the Watson and Crick's model of DNA. In the Watson and Crick's model, this is a double helix model which is given by the Watson and Crick in the year 1953. This model was discovered with the help of X-ray crystallography method, and this X-ray crystallography method, it is studied by Maurice Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin. These are the two researchers who have contributed for the DNA structure, that is Maurice Wilkins and Rosalind Franklin. They have conducted the X-ray crystallography of the DNA, and through this Watson and Crick has proposed the DNA model, which is said to be a double helix model of DNA. So we are concerned with this double helix model. Firstly, we will see the molecular structure, how this DNA is represented molecularly. So nitrogen bases are there, pentose sugar is there, phosphate group is there. This is one strand, this is another strand. One strand, each strand consists the nitrogen base, pentose sugar and phosphate group in such a way that this nitrogen base is attached to the first carbon of the pentose sugar. This is the first carbon, so it is attached to the first carbon of the pentose sugar. While this is second one, this is third one, this is fourth one, and this one is the fifth carbon. At the fifth carbon there is attachment of the phosphate group. At the first carbon there is attachment of the nitrogen base. Nitrogen bases, various nitrogen bases are there, that is adenine, guanine, thymine and cytosine. Adenine is attached here, while second, if you see this guanine is attached to the first carbon, third carbon here, this third carbon of the pentose sugar, it attached to the phosphate group of the next nucleotide, successive nucleotide. Likewise, these particular nucleotides are joined together to form a polynucleotide chain. And this polynucleotide chain, this is one polynucleotide chain, this is another polynucleotide chain, and these two polynucleotide chains are joined together with the help of bonding in between the nitrogen स्ट्रँड्स एकमेकांना अटॅच झालेले बघायला मिळतात आणि अशा पद्धतीने हे स्ट्रक्चर असतं. त्याच्यामध्ये इथे 5व्या कार्बनला फॉस्फेट ग्रुप दिसतोय तुम्हाला, त्याच्यामुळे ह्याला आपण C5 एंड म्हणतो किंवा ह्याला 5 प्राइम एंड म्हणतो. इथे मात्र हा इथे थर्ड कार्बन आहे, हा पेंटोज शुगर उलट्या पद्धतीने दिसतोय तुम्हाला, कारण हे एकमेकांना ऑपोजिट. तर हा इथे थर्ड कार्बन आहे म्हणून इथे C3 एंड म्हणतात किंवा 3 प्राइम एंड म्हणतात. इकडे बघा, इकडे 3 प्राइम एंड किंवा C3 एंड का, तर हा थर्ड कार्बन. इथे 5 प्राइम एंड किंवा C5 एंड म्हणतात कारण हा फिफ्थ कार्बन आहे, तर इथे हा फिफ्थ कार्बन. अशा पद्धतीने अरेंजमेंट असते न्यूक्लियोटाइड्सची आणि न्यूक्लियोटाइड्स एकमेकांना जॉईन होऊन पॉलीन्यूक्लियोटाइड चेन तयार करतात. पॉलीन्यूक्लियोटाइड चेन तयार करत असताना जी काही बॅकबोन तयार केली जाते, backbone it is made by the phosphate group by joining the two pentose sugar molecules of two successive nucleotides, and this one is called as phosphodiester linkage. While the bonds which is present in between the nitrogen bases A, whenever it is paired with T, it is always paired with two weak hydrogen bonds, and whenever G is paired with C, at that time it is paired with 3 weak hydrogen bonds. So likewise pairing is present. So let's study the actual Watson and Crick's model of DNA now. This is Watson and Crick's model of DNA, which is proposed by the Watson and Crick in the year 1953. In this particular model, we can see this particular one strand is there, which is running from 5 prime end to the 3 prime end, while another strand is there which is running from C3 end or 3 prime end to the 5 prime end. So likewise two strands are running there which are exactly opposite in direction. So which are the points in the Watson and Crick's model of DNA? First point is that it is double stranded structure. We can see that two strands are there, one strand C5 to C3, another is C3 to C5. Likewise two strands are there, it is double stranded structure. Secondarily it is a double helix structure. Double helix, these two strands are coiled around each other. हे दोन स्ट्रँड एकमेकांना कॉईल झालेले बघायला मिळतात ॲज लाईक अ ट्विस्टेड लॅडर. जशा पद्धतीने ट्विस्टेड शिडी असते तशा पद्धतीने हे दोन स्ट्रँड एकमेकांना पूर्णपणे कॉईल झालेले बघायला मिळतात किंवा ट्विस्ट झालेले बघायला मिळतात. ट्विस्टेड लॅडर लाईक स्ट्रक्चर हे बघायला मिळतं आपल्याला आणि हे एका इमॅजिनरी ॲक्सिसच्या भोवती असे ट्विस्ट झालेले बघायला मिळतात. तर हे अराउंड इमॅजिनरी ॲक्सिस दिस टू स्ट्रँड्स आर coiling around each other or twisted around each other, that is called as a double helix. This particular double helix structure consists two strands and these two strands are anti-parallel to each other. So third point is that is these two strands are anti-parallel. Why it is anti-parallel or why it is said to be anti-parallel? One strand is running C3 to C5, another is running C5 to C3. These two are running opposite to each other. If we will see the direction, this is C3 to C5 direction, this is C3 to C5 direction. One is running ascending, another is running descending. So it is called as anti-parallel. The distance between two strands, it is always and always constant. That's why it is parallel to each other. While these are running opposite in direction, that's why it is called as anti-parallel to each other. So these two strands are anti-parallel to each other and these are running in opposite direction. Opposite direction कशा आहे ते बघितलं आपण. One is running C3 to C5 in this ascending order, another is running in the C3 to C5 in the descending order. Next one is that is complementary strand. Next point which has to be considered in the Watson and Crick's model, it is complementary strand. Why it is said to be complementary? जैसे आप कहते हैं कि अगर ये आदमी आया तो उसके साथ ये आना चाहिए. So likewise, if A is there, A is always paired with T and G is always paired with C. This is the combination of the nitrogen bases which is present in the DNA, or this is the combination present of the nucleotide. A nucleotide is paired with T nucleotide, or G nucleotide is paired with C nucleotide. A is paired with T is paired with T. But we cannot see that A is paired with G or A is paired with C. A is always coming with T, or A is always paired with T. So it is A is complementary to T. While if you see the G and C, these two combinations are G is paired with C or C is paired with G. So these two are always coming together. C never comes with T or C never comes with A. So that's why it is said to be complementary. So these nitrogen bases are complementary to each other. A nitrogen base is complementary to T, and G nitrogen base is complementary to C. So this complementary nitrogen bases forming the complementary strands. Are they complementary strand? If you are knowing this one strand information, suppose that one strand information is like this, that is A, T, T, A, G, C. And we better know that A is always paired with T and T is always paired with A. So likewise, A is always paired with T, G is always paired with C, C is always paired with G. So from one strand information we get the another strand information. If we know the nitrogen bases present in one strand in a successive manner, then we can imagine that what will be the another strand. एका स्ट्रँडचे आपल्याला जर नायट्रोजन बेसेस माहिती असतील तर आपल्याला लगेच चटकन काय येतं की दुसऱ्या स्ट्रँडवर कोणते नायट्रोजन बेसेस असतात का तर ए इज ऑलवेज पेअर्ड विथ टी. जर एका स्ट्रँडवर ए असेल तर पुढच्या स्ट्रँडवर टी असणार, इकडे टी असेल तर इकडे ए असणार, इकडे टी असेल तर इकडे ए असणार, इकडे ए असेल तर इकडे टी असणार, इकडे जी असेल तर इकडे सी, इकडे सी असेल तर इकडे जी. अशा पद्धतीने हे नायट्रोजन बेसेस कॉम्प्लिमेंटरी, त्यामुळे हे दोन स्ट्रँड जे काही एकमेकांना जॉईन हे सुद्धा कॉम्प्लिमेंटरी असतात. दॅट्स व्हाय वी आर सेइंग दॅट these strands are complementary to each other. Another important thing is that is this particular nitrogen bases, it is of two types, that is purine and pyrimidine. Which are the purines and which are the pyrimidines? Purines are A and G. Pyrimidines are T and C, which are present in the DNA. So purine and pyrimidine ratio, what will be the purine and pyrimidine ratio in the DNA? Or how this percentage will be covered in the DNA? A, number of A is equal to number of T, because A is always paired with T. Number of G is equal to number of C, because G is always paired with C. This number of A plus G will be equal to the number of T plus C. A and G, these are the purines, while T and C, these are the pyrimidines. So always the ratio between purine and pyrimidine, it will be 1:1. So this particular was first studied by the Chargaff has given this particular rule for the DNA, that is purine and pyrimidine ratio present in the DNA is always at 1:1. So this is purine and pyrimidine ratio. Purine and pyrimidine, these are always equal to each other in the DNA. Well, next point is that is polarity of strand. Polarity of the strand. This is one strand, this is another strand. Likewise here in the molecular structure, this is one strand and this is another strand. How polarity is being considered. Polarity is being considered on the presence of the last carbon present in that strand. This is the pentose sugar. Pentose sugar having this fifth carbon at the last, which is ended with the phosphate group. That's why this one is called as 5'. So this is the polarity of that particular strand on this side. On either side, this is having the OH group at the end, and this OH group is present on the third carbon of the pentose sugar. That's why it is called as 3' or it is called as C3N. While another here in this another strand, this is ended with the OH group. OH group is present on the third carbon, so it is C3N or 3'. While here, this is the fifth carbon. On the fifth carbon, there is attachment of the phosphate group. That's why it is called as 5' or C5N. So likewise, polarity is mentioned in the DNA structure. Either it is molecular structure or Watson and Crick's model. That is C3N, C5N, C5N, and C3N. So likewise, polarity is given. Next one is that is grooves. If we consider the structure, whenever the twisting of these two strands carried out, at that time this twisting shows two grooves. Whenever these two strands are twisting each other, one groove is there. This one is larger groove. This particular larger groove it is called as major groove. While another groove is there, that is which is smaller one, and this is called as minor groove. And one complete spiral or one complete turn of this particular DNA structure consisting the one major groove and one minor groove. So one complete spiral or one complete turn consists one major groove, one minor groove. If we consider the length of the major groove and minor groove, this particular it is 22 angstrom in length, while this one minor groove it is 12 angstrom in length. So 22 plus 12, it is 34 angstrom for complete spiral. One complete turn or complete spiral of 360 degree या DNA ला turn होण्यासाठी जेवढे काही अंतर लागणार आहे 34 angstrom. आणि ह्या 34 angstrom मध्ये आपल्याला दोन ग्रुप बघायला मिळणार आहे. एक तर मेजर ग्रुप, दुसरा मायनर ग्रुप. मेजर ग्रुप असणार आहे 22 angstrom चा, मायनर ग्रुप असणार आहे 12 angstrom चा. तर अशा पद्धतीने दोन ग्रुप्स असतात जे ह्या स्पायरल मध्ये टर्न मध्ये आपल्याला बघायला मिळतात. आता ह्याच्यामध्ये अजून डायमेन्शन्स जर बघायला बघितले आपण, तर डायमेन्शन्स मध्ये हे C3N आहे, C5N आहे. आता हे जे काही एंड्स आहेत, इथून जो काही ट्विस्ट होतोय आपल्याला, तर हे ट्विस्टचा डायमीटर किती असेल? तर डायमीटर जो काही असतो DNA चा इट इज 20 angstrom. Actual diameter of the DNA for coiling or for that double helix structure or spiral structure it is 20 angstrom. And these are the dimension 34 angstrom, it is 22 angstrom, major group, 12 angstrom, minor group. While the distance between two successive nucleotides, what will be the distance between two successive nucleotides? Majorly we are considering a DNA, bDNA. In that bDNA, this 34 angstrom or one complete spiral or one complete turn consists 10 base pairs. If it consists the 10 base pairs, what will be the distance between two successive base pairs or two successive nucleotides? So it is 34 divided by 10 and this 34 divided by 10. This two successive nucleotide consist the distance that is 3.4 angstrom. So these are the dimensions of the DNA. So here it is the Watson and Crick's model of DNA which we have studied in this lecture. Okay, have a nice time, students.